YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back, and the NFL Network's top 100 list is finished. We got finished making reaction videos and comparing their rankings to my rankings, but there were 32 players exactly left off of the list that were on my list. So we'll take a look at those 32 players, and we'll take a look at where I had them ranked based off the 2019 season. So actually 32 snubs, that's a ton. We're going to break them down in order right here. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Plenty of content already on there, plenty more to come. Rankings, predictions, in season. We got the full coverage for the NFL, so we're excited for that. Please subscribe, click that like button, turn notifications on. Follow that Twitter for NFL and Goat House updates, and then check out that podcast. New episodes every single week. So there'll be a link in the description and the comments for anything that you may need here. And we also have new merch out. You'll see a link down below as well. You see it on the screen. The Goat House is back merch. So more color options actually if you click on some of those options there when you get to that site. On to the snubs. So starting at the top, my number 100 player did not get ranked. Mark Andrews did not make the actual top 100 list voted by the players. He made the list for me, obviously. I thought he was, definitely thought he was going to make the list. I thought maybe I was a little lower round than most people in the world, But it is tough making 100 players. It feels like a small number when you actually sit down and make the list. But Andrews was the top target for the Ravens. Pretty good receiver depth, but no standout guy, even though you expect a guy like Hollywood Brown to be in the future. So Mark Andrews was kind of that guy for that offense. So a little surprising to make the list, but he was borderline for me. Jordan Poyer, so we see 199. Jordan Poyer was my number 99, the safety for the Bills. I think all-around balanced safety does a ton for that team. So I thought, Poyer was, and I think both safeties for the Bills do a ton because you'll see Hyde in the slot, and you'll also see him as more of a single high free. So that means Poyer has a lot of responsibility as well. Number 96 was Joe Schobert. I thought he had a career year last year. Again, my rankings based off last year alone. He was with the Cleveland Browns last year, now with the Jacksonville Jaguars, so they add him into the mix there at Miles Jack. And Schobert, really big year, which was what was impressive was him in coverage. We can fly around the field, get in the backfield, sniff out some runs, but in coverage, making plays was the impressive part. Joe Tooney was number 94 on my list. Didn't make the NFL top 100 list. The guard from the Patriots, which they now franchised. Very important piece to the interior of that offensive line. I think he's continuing to get better, and he showed that this year. Jordan Phillips was number 93 on my list. Yeah, not a big name guy here, but very productive. I'm not a big stats guy. I'm not just going to base everything off stats, but when you are that productive, I think you're doing something right on the year. And he made my list because how much of an impact he was, how productive he was. So he's number 93 for me. He's now on the Cardinals. He did play for the Bills last year, though, when he made my list. So we'll see if he can continue to play at that level on the Cardinals there. Moving on to another group of snubs. We got a lot of them here. Number 92 for me was Marcus Williams, the safety of the Saints. I thought he had a breakout year. A lot of doubt for Marcus Williams after what happened a few years ago in the playoffs, but really developing as a solid free safety. It felt like the whole safety, Von Bella was kind of not obviously not bad, but disappointing in the past. But this year, him and Marcus Williams both clicked. I think a lot is due to Marcus Williams really starting to develop here. So he was number 92 for me based on last year. A.J. Brown was my Offensive Rookie of the Year pick, and 4 rookies made the list for the actual top 100, and he was not one of them, but he was my pick there. I thought he was a key piece to the Titans. All-around receiver. You could put him, you can line him up anywhere. You can give him the ball anywhere. Ridiculous after the catch. Ended up, they drafted Corey Davis 5th overall a couple years ago, and they signed Adam Humphries to a decent deal. A.J. Brown was by far their best receiver, and was a key piece for Tannehill there. So he should have made the list. Was 89 for me. Tremaine Edmonds, number 87, a guy I expect him to be on the list going forward, the actual list. For me, he's already made it. Already improved. Freaky inside linebacker, but the Bills played a lot with 2, him and Milano, so he had to cover a lot of ground. He'll continue to climb his way up as the years go on. Another Tennessee Titan here, Kevin Byard, one of the better, maybe the best free safety in football, at number 85 for me, did not make the list. That was very surprising. He didn't make the list. I thought he should have been around these parts, obviously around 85. Wouldn't have been surprised if he was close to 100, but I'm surprised he didn't make the list. definitely deserving. Austin Eckler had a crazy year for the Chargers, number 83. It felt like he was the key piece. He was the best piece of that offense last year. Melvin Gordon, he's a good running back, didn't have that great of a year. It felt like when they gave the ball to Eckler, he did bigger things. It felt like when Eckler was out of the game, it just became easier for the defense. He was insane. Everyone knows he's a really good pass-catching back, and he's good in that aspect, but he's definitely an underrated runner as it is. So, total package type of guy, I definitely thought he should have made the list. There's some other guys that ran for more yards than him, but we're talking all the football players here. We're not just talking about positions. So Eckler definitely deserving to be on the list there. Next, number 82 on my list was Jamie Collins, who played for the Patriots last year, now with the Lions. Very productive from the Patriots. They used him as a hybrid linebacker / edge rusher. Was very productive in every category. Matthew Judon, I thought he kind of carried that. Really, the linebacker unit. He's an edge rusher in a 3-4, so technically he's an outside linebacker. And usually they get pressure from the inside linebackers. Didn't think they got as much in that defense this year. And then there was no other very solid edge rusher opposite of Judon, so I thought he kind of carried that group. Corey Littleton really stepped up this year. And used to be just a special teamer guy. Really stepped up for the Rams. And made his way on the list. Now with the Raiders, so it's a pretty good signing there. The two Devons, Devin Bush. We've seen the Steelers kind of missing. That's the last piece they need, inside linebacker. They need it. They went out and got it, and you see how much better their defense got. So key piece for the rookie. Another rookie, Devin White was ridiculous down the stretch of the season. You see the difference, him in and out of the Buccaneers team there. So I thought he was outstanding. It's so impressive how he is in coverage, too, because he's going to fly around in the backfield and make the plays. And then we got the next group of guys, Kenny Golladay. Surprised he didn't make the list, obviously. Number 72, big-time receiver. I think he's the guy that's going to continue to climb the rankings, at least for me, big time here, up from 72. Freaky receiver that could do it all. You see him, he's a lengthy guy, but he's a guy that can make things happen in the open field as well. Max Crosby, a rookie making the list here for me. The edge rusher for the Raiders. Was outstanding for them, and he got going every step of the way. See him slide inside sometimes. Key piece of that Raiders defense. Kyle Van Noy, very shocked he didn't make the list. Number 68 for me. Now with the Dolphins, familiar with that type of scheme with Brian Flores there, but with the Patriots last year was used much like Jamie Collins that we talked about as a hybrid linebacker, which was so important, adding that pass rush ability. But I think the game plan for offenses against the Patriots was around Kyle Van Noy. You never know what he's going to do. Is he going to drop back coverage? Is he rushing? What is he doing? Another Patriot, Devin McCourty, was very productive this year. A good leader of that secondary. Was very shocked the players didn't vote him in. Another safety here, the Chicago Bears safety, Eddie Jackson, who might have been maybe the best safety in football a year ago in 2018 based on that year alone. This year, not as productive, but if you watch, without Amos in there, Eddie Jackson had a lot of responsibility. It almost felt like he was playing both safety roles at the same time. And obviously somebody's not going to be as productive in terms of the stats, but when that happens, I thought he played at just a good of a level there, even though production-wise it really wasn't. So he comes in at 65 for me. Number 63 was the Packers nose tackle, Kenny Clark, who I think is the best nose tackle in football. And this guy's going to definitely continue to climb the ranks for me. I'm predicting, obviously. There's no way of telling now. But I expect him higher ranked for me, better ranked than 63 for this upcoming season. Cortland Sutton at 62 was an absolute monster this year. Crazy improvement. Was crazy after the catch. It was a guy that could not be brought down. Had the most broken tackles from a receiver after the catch there. Thought that was very impressive. Roger Saffold, I thought, was playing like maybe the best guard after Quentin Nelson in football, in all of football, in the second half of the season, down the stretch in the playoffs, which was very important to me making these rankings. I think one of the better guards in football. Shelby Harris, out of nowhere, kind of had an outstanding season, played a mixture of things across the D-line, but mainly nose tackle. The pressure he was able to bring on the interior was game-changing for the Broncos defense, and they were kind of lacking pressure. I thought Von Miller was down a little bit this year, still good, but not much help elsewhere Shelby Harris was a monster this year. Dante Fowler, we seen Aaron Donald actually was a little less productive. That's because Dante Fowler was getting to the quarterback in time and making great timing there. Very productive off the edge, which they needed. Their defense was more impressive than expected. Now with the Falcons, obviously, was with the Rams last year. He was impressive. See how we'll do with the Falcons. Keep on going here. A lot of players. Number 51, Alexander Johnson of the Broncos was finally eligible to play. This was a guy at a second-round grade on an early second-round grade years ago out of Tennessee. This guy was electric this year. We know him flying around the field, in terms of the prospect evaluation, flying around the field, making plays, rangy in the backfield, sideline to sideline. But the coverage skills this year were outstanding there for the Broncos. Josh Allen, another rookie here that I am shocked wasn't ranked. Very productive, just as productive as Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa, maybe his team was better. Yeah, they made it further and maybe was involved in more impact game moments, crucial moments. But Josh Allen was just as productive and was key for the Jaguars there this season just as a rookie. So he came in at exactly number 50. Devontae Parker, much improved, had some dominant moments this year. Really stretched the sideline. The contested catch was outstanding. Very surprised he didn't make the list, but he's only had one good year, really, or one really good year. So number 42. Justin Simmons, I thought, played like one of the best safeties in football last year. Basically played single high free, played center field, kind of saved the Broncos, even though it didn't come up in the interception category at times. Kind of saved them downfield with pass breakups, and maybe stop teams from throwing it deep. So the safety of the Broncos, number 32 for me. Arik Armstead, mind blown he didn't make the list. Was absolutely dominant this past year. A crucial, key, important piece to that Niners defense because they're running the Leo defense. Nick Bosa on the line as an edge rusher on one side. D Ford kind of off the ball on one side who actually can drop in coverage. So you need a guy that could kind of be a pass rusher and a D tackle, here and there. Next to D Ford, and that is Arik Armstead, and he is that key piece, gets pressure, stops the run, gets pressure from the edge, interior, monster year for him, and they basically had to choose Armstead or Buckner. Sign Armstead, trade Buckner, or keep Buckner, let Armstead walk. They made the right decision because what fits their defense. Number 22 on my list. And there's two guys in the top 20 that did not make the official list. My best safety of the 2019 season was Anthony Harris, ranked 20th overall. I think the best playmaking defender on the year. Teams worried about Harrison Smith up in the box and what he's able to do, and they think they're kind of free to throw deep then because Harrison Smith's usually been the expert deep as well. But Anthony Harris was back there to make those plays in crucial situations, and I thought he was key for them. And usually those types of guys they get a ton of interceptions. Sometimes they're not actually the best safeties because they're not really involved anywhere else. Usually it seems like those guys struggle to tackle a little bit, but Anthony Harris was very consistent in the tackling department as well. So the Vikings keep him around with the franchise tag. We'll see if he'll be able to repeat that season because it was kind of that one and only season for him. So we'll see if he'll be able to repeat that. And then my number one snub, the highest ranked guy on my list that did not make the actual list, was an offensive lineman. It was Mitchell Schwartz, in my opinion, the best tackle in football. Number 13 on my list, the best player on that offensive line, really keeping this unit together and was outstanding at every moment and down the stretch into the playoffs. Keeping Mahomes clean, not allowing any pressures in the playoffs, and then run blocking is underrated. How he's able to bully people. Like he almost looks like one of those guards, like the Quentin Nelson bullying people, but that's as a tackle. And we've seen him kind of line up at the same side as Fisher sometimes. That was interesting. Just a key piece all around for the Chiefs. Keeping Mahomes, plays alive. And Mahomes could do it himself, obviously, but I don't think it'd be possible without Schwartz. Crazy he didn't make the list because some people vote based on just this past year and some people vote based on in general. In either or, he should be way up the list. So it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever that he wasn't on the list. So number 13 for me. Thought it was pretty interesting that exactly 32 guys made the list for me that did not make the list for the top 100. We're going to update our rankings based on who are the best players right now. That'll come in the near future. We have all kind of rankings predicting this upcoming season. We got you covered here, basically. All kinds of content. More to come at the Goat House here. Please subscribe. Click that like button. Turn notifications on. That is going to do it for this one. Thanks, everyone, for the support. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.